Hi, my name is Daniela Militello, and for my practicum, I traveled to Varanasi, India with Public Health Beyond Borders. So I chose this practicum and this site because I have been with Public Health Beyond Borders since my freshman year, but during that year, I focused on interventions more local to College Park. I worked in schools in PG County to deliver public health interventions. And for my sophomore year, I felt that I really wanted to showcase all of my public health and global public health knowledge that I was learning and make more of an impact abroad. So I joined the India team, and the India team was focusing on quantifying the amount of E. coli in drinking water samples in water sources in Varanasi, India, because pilot work that they did revealed that there was a high prevalence of E. coli, but they were not able to quantify how much. So that's what we focused on this year. And we focused on E. coli because one, the Sustainable Development Goal 6's goal is universal access to clean water and sanitation for all. And also 400,000 children under 5 die annually from fecal, like diarrheal diseases contracted from drinking fecally contaminated water. And E. coli is a very strong indicator of fecal contamination in water sources. So we felt that this was very relevant and a big public health issue. So we created a story booklet that had English and Hindi translations, and it detailed the story of this E. coli named Isha. Here she is, and here's our booklet. And she invaded people's drinking water sources and made them sick. And we also showed how people prevented this by either filtering or boiling their water, things like that. So here is me narrating the story with Isha. This is the story. These are children at the South Point School rural campus, and this is also them with their assessments. So we gave pre and post assessments. Pre to assess their knowledge of bacteria and waterborne illness and things like that before the story. And then we gave post assessments to see if any strategies we taught them to clean their water actually stuck with them. And we also collected water samples from nearby homes near the South Point School rural campus. So that's me doing that. Like I said, we conducted these workshops. We told the story at the Vidyaashram South Point School rural campus and also Banaras Hindu University Central Hindu Girls School. And Banaras Hindu University is our partner university, and that's where we conducted all of our lab work. But we only told the story to the girls at the Central Hindu Girls School and did the pre and post assessments. But at South Point Rural Campus, we also asked children to collect their own drinking water samples and bring them back to us so we could test them and then deliver results to them, like we did in the community surrounding the South Point School. So here is me on the way to deliver like E. coli results to families in the community. And this is Raj. He's actually the dad of Ayushman, who attends the South Point School. And he was showing us, he was kind of like our guide, showing us where to go to collect the water samples from the houses, and he was awesome. And what I learned from this practicum was that culturally competent public health interventions are necessary. Dr. Marion gave each of us a cultural competency handbook the first day that we were there. And what I took out of it and tried to practice actively throughout this whole experience was to listen more and talk less. And I feel like this allowed me to better understand how water safety practices fit into the daily lives within the communities that we worked with. And I also feel like rather than assuming that I understood community needs, I made a very big conscious effort to observe, ask questions, and build relationships. And I feel like before we went to travel, we were trying to educate ourselves on community practices. So we were looking things up like pit latrines, and I felt at least that I understood the community and what they needed, but that was just not true. And observing these things in the real world is very important. And also, I think conducting the water quality testing and just returning the results to participants made the experience more impactful as families were able to directly connect the information we were telling them to their own drinking water sources, which I feel like is necessary for, like, that connection is necessary for sustainable change, which is the hallmark of public health interventions. And this experience ultimately shifted my perspective from viewing public health work as delivering solutions to understanding it as a process that begins from learning from the communities themselves. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone involved. And experience really transformed my public health perspective and journey. And I hope to continue contributing to this work, whether that's here in the United States or abroad in India, if I so get the chance. Thank you.